For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, we are live and amplified. So let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Hey, there you go.
There we go.
How's it going, man?
Doing pretty good, man. How's it going?
Oh, it's another day in paradise here in Waco.
Right? Got any sleep, or are you guys rotating this thing out?
I'm going strong right now. It's just me.
Nice.
So we tried to set it up to where my co-host, he lives out in Roswell. We were going to try and rotate it out, but he works at a scrapyard, and it's what they call Hell Week. So it's just like, all right, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'll suck it up and go right through. So appreciate appreciate you signing up, man. It's been a while. I haven't been able to get out as much as I wanted to this year to do live shows, but I know you're staying busy and all that fun stuff. So it's really exciting. I know you last time we had talked, you were trying to get like a touring vehicle ready, and I've been paying attention on your social that it's not been as easy as you thought it would, or
yeah.
So
yeah, no, I've got it operational. I've got a 2002 Sprinter. It's like a Freightliner Sprinter, but it more time consuming. I don't know if it was more difficult, but it's more in my head. I was like, I'll have it done in like 3 months. Yeah, gotcha. It was. You either have money and no time, or you have time and no money. So, but yeah, it's operational now. I've got a working shower and kitchenette and a bed and air conditioning and heat. Yeah, I've been trying. It's not. There's a few like veneer kind of stuff that's not finished, but but it's operational. So that's cool.
Yeah, nice. Just in time for winter to hit.
Right, exactly. Well, in Texas, it's almost more beneficial to have something like that in the summer for the air conditioner,
Yeah.
In winter, you can get drunk enough and pass out in any cold car.
Yeah. Get a blanket or two. Get a blanket or two and you're good, So, no, once again, thank you so much for jumping on here. Like I'd mentioned earlier, it's been a while. I haven't seen you since probably about a year ago when you came through the house and we did the live acoustic session, right? Is that about you?
Is that about
maybe
right?
A little bit, maybe a little bit longer than that, but anyways. So what's new? What's exciting? What you got going on?
We got we're in the mastering phase of a 6-song EP, but we'll be releasing it as singles. We got one that's ready to go now with some video elements and stuff. Probably be dropping that here soon. We've been going under Dustin Brown the Now as the band element, but I think before we drop any of these songs together, we're actually gonna have a name change. We're gonna go with a regular, band name or collaboration name.
Yeah. So it's not just you, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of. I'll still release my folk stuff and my more country songwriter stuff, just under my name. But the band, we've kind of birthed this different sound than it's like my writing, but a different sound, really. And maybe it's always been there. But so probably going to be doing that here soon. I've just, drop it on everybody, just a new name and kind of just fresh start, really.
Nice. And is it going to be more of a rockin' sound, or what's the new sound leaning towards?
Yeah, we didn't really sit down and say we wanted to be this, that, or the other. We just started making music, and ultimately all my country folks that I've kind of, really were my scene or whatever I'm part of, they're kind of looking at us funny, and a few people have said, man, you are really kind of leaning more into the indie rock kind of vibe. And it's like, well, I'm fine with that. But when I say that, I would lump that in like a Wilco kind of indie rock or like a Sunvolt. We still have a country-esque element like in the lyrics and even some of the chord structures, but it gets heavy sometimes. It's a little psychedelic sometimes. And the new stuff I'm writing is leaning more and more and more towards that. So
so not quite Southern rock, but
no, I wouldn't say it's Southern rock at all. No.
You start blurring the lines and it's just like, who knows,
Yeah, and really like I wouldn't even put a genre name on it if it was up to us. But, deeper and deeper you get into the music game, it's kind of, I mean, I guess it's better now than it was 20 years ago where you just had rock, pop, and country on the radio. Now you've got like subgenres on Spotify and iTunes, and there's a gazillion different genres. So it's kind of hard to you don't want to define yourself, but also I guess on the good side of that is, especially doing the singles and everything, is you can have one of your songs from your album on an indie rock playlist and you get another one on the country playlist. So it's really kind of the perfect world to be in for us, because I don't know if we can really define ourselves. And one time we might write a country song, and we might write a rock song or psychedelic kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, with the way the music business is now, like just playing to the singles and whatever that song is, it is, so I think it definitely works for the current state of the music business.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
that ties back into the name change is like when I don't have a huge following or nothing like that, but when people hear my name, they're expecting folk or country or something like that. And if they hear some of this newer stuff, I'm afraid they're going to be like, which I don't really care. I want them to be shook up anyway, but at the same time, it's just for branding reasons, stuff like that. We have a co-op name, so to speak. It's innocuous, we can put all kind of songs out underneath it and there's no identity tied to it. Whereas my name, there's obviously an actual person tied to it. So. Yeah.
So you want it to be more like a band element where everybody's represented equally and it's not just the Dustin Brown band.
Well, even on that forefront, but by name, it'd be more like calling, it's just a project. And like, I wouldn't even call it a band because we've had so many, it's something I've had to just come to grips with is we've had so many people come and go. Like we have one original member and, everything is always on and off and live music in general has like really changed. It's always been pretty crappy financially and stuff like that, but I would say post COVID it's changing pretty rapidly. So it's kind of really want to focus on projects, one project at a time, and whoever ready and willing to play on that project, they're going to be on that song or that record or that album. And then we'll just release it. But I'll do what I've always been doing and kind of be the creative foundation, I guess, not the conductor, but the foundation, and then bringing in the right people and letting them add to it and just creating off that.
Yeah, for sure. So you'll keep doing what you got to do to keep yourself creatively happy and to keep everything kind of moving forward.
Exactly.
Is that so? Where are you at? Are you still here in Waco, or where are you at right now?
Oh, that's funny thing. I'm coming to you from my new spot in Dallas, like new as in like 3-4 days ago. We moved in here. I did a little out of state tour, acoustic tour, and we had looked at this place, I don't know, a few weeks before that, and everything was right about it. So we went ahead and pulled the trigger on it. So I'm up in just near Deep Ellum and Bishop Arch kind of area in Dallas. Good music scene up here. I'll still be down in Waco quite a bit and hanging out. Won't be the last y'all see of me, but just needed a new environment for a little bit.
No, I'm 100% agreed. I'm kind of coming to that point in my life too, where it's like, I just need something different. So we'll see where I end up in the next 6 to 9 months.
It's Dallas, man. It's happening up here.
I know a lot of people in Dallas, and so that's definitely a possibility. Everybody keeps saying Austin, but there's going to come a point where Austin just outgrows itself and the infrastructure can't handle it, all that stuff.
Well, that's what I mean. I've lived in Austin 2 different times over the past 10 years. And 10 years ago, it was really fun. Even a few years ago, it was fun, but it was like a few years ago, it was in the midst of really the growth and stuff. And it's a great thing. I'm not one of these Texans who's like upset about it. It's just, it's kind of like you said, you could still rent there pretty cheap, not cheap, but like affordable, and then, but like, I don't know, the housing market's through the roof. People are coming and going. It's just, I still love it. I still love Austin, but as far as the music scene, from what I noticed, it's all very gatekeepers, or it's people that are already made. It's kind of like Nashville. Like Austin and Nashville both have lots of opportunities, and they do have producers, they do have agents, labels, all that good stuff. But there's so many people there doing it, and there's a lot of callousness and whatnot. But up here, and I would say Deep Ellum, Dallas area, there's a lot of collaboration going on. There's a lot of happening venues, and it's kind of, who wants to get in there gets in there if you want to put in the work, where Austin sometimes doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I can definitely understand all that. Austin's been the mecca for a lot of independent musicians out this way for a long time. So, I get it. It is what it is. So you're in Dallas now, and how long has that kind of been? You said a few months you've been thinking about doing that, pulling the trigger to go to Dallas?
Yeah, and I've been talking about it for probably a year. And then, probably 6 months ago, we were like, all right, we'll maybe do it, come November, December. And then just looked at a few places about a month ago and found this one. And it was, it's just right. It's in a nice little spot, but it's right next to everything for a good price, So that's another thing for musicians. There's venues to play, and there's cheap rent for like cool spots. So that's it was a move,
Yeah, for sure. And then eventually, hopefully, get back out on the road doing gigs, and like you originally were planning. Is that?
Yeah, and I've got some shows. We were supposed to play this week or tomorrow. This goes back to band headaches and stuff like that. We're supposed to play tomorrow at the Greenwood in Bluffdale, full band with Lincoln the Shanks. Well, one of our members got tested positive for COVID. He's okay, but tested positive. So it's not safe to bring him around. So we called the other people, and they were like, funny enough, we have a guy that tested positive. So we pretty much just canceled the show. Both of them, like I said, they're fine, but it's just super random. They both have it right now. But then I think I've got like a brewery next weekend, and then I've got a few just little things between here and Waco. I think Pouring Glory, pretty much, I'm going to spend the next few months. I've got a lot to record, lots to demo. And like I said, put together, the right individuals, start making this new sound, this new project. And we'll probably come into the spring strong again, but definitely need a few months to just do nothing. Yep. It's been busy.
Yep. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm at that point now where it's like after this weekend doing how many ever podcasts it ends up being, it's like, I think I'm going to take like 6 weeks off. I need that cool 6 weeks. So we'll see how it plays out. But no, once again, I want to thank you so much. You never had the opportunity of meeting my mother, but she passed away in July to pancreatic cancer, which is why we're here to help promote awareness and raise funds for pancreatic cancer research and all that stuff. Have you had any experience with any family members with pancreatic cancer, or just cancer in general? Or
no, I can't say I have. I guess we're blessed, our family, immediate family anyway. Nobody's really experienced it. I mean, my my uncle's wife, she passed away, I guess last year from cancer. I'm not sure which type, but I guess that's been the only close people, but the immediate family, at least, we've been pretty lucky on that, fortunate.
Gotcha. Well, it's a bad thing, like, not to undersell it, but it's a terrible experience. And so that's kind of why I did the podcast thing, was because my mom enjoyed listening to the podcast, and she was listening to every episode and all that fun stuff. So I was like, well, I can't play music, so a benefit show isn't really in the cards, but maybe I could do something with the podcast. So
yeah.
And when we got the outpouring of support that we did, it was like, all right, let's make it happen. And then, I'm sure you're aware of, musicians are a little hard to get organized, but
yes, I'm one of them.
Well, it's one of those things. I brought that up because you just got done, or you did a jam in the van down by the, what's the name of the?
Yeah, in a jam down by the river.
There you go.
It's our festival. We just did the second year, but yeah, we did that back in October, and then this month, like I said, I made my little tour to went through Tennessee, Alabama, down to Louisiana, and then back. And I like got back from that, and the day I got back, I started packing up stuff, and we moved up here. And this is day. I guess I've only been home like 4 days, and we're all set up and everything.
Nice.
But
that's awesome. How did how'd the music festival turn out?
It was good, man. We were as big and maybe even a little bigger than last year. So I mean, that's all from, for us, this really, we didn't set out to like have a successful music festival. We really set out to just, have all our friends come and play and have a stage and stuff. And here we are year 2, but in that process, I guess talking to people, who set out to do a music festival, like they're like telling us the fact that we even had a year 2 and that we made a little money. Or the festival didn't pocket money, but this year we were able to at least pay our artists a relatively decent wage, I want to pay them more, and we will pay more as long as they keep coming. But we're already in the works for next year. We're juggling around the idea of like a decent headliner, like coming out, we're on sponsors already and trying to get all that. When I say decent headliner, I mean a decent draw, because to me and all my friends that play the festival, we would headline it every year, but we're still relatively small, but we're, tossed around the idea of getting, a national touring act, maybe just them as an acoustic, or if we could get the whole band, like how much money that's looking like. And we have a whole year to raise that money and see what happens, but regardless, we'll all be there next year.
Yeah, for sure. And it's one of those things where you made it to year 2, which you've heard is a huge thing. Like not a lot of festivals make it past year 1, let alone year 2. I've seen a lot of festivals just up and die after year 2 because they put themselves in a hole year 1 just to make it big enough for people to be interested in. And then they could never get out of that hole. And so it was just like, all right. So, and then obviously launching a music festival during a pandemic doesn't sound like the smartest business idea, but you were still able to make it work. And that's really incredible. Like, I mean, with it being later on during the pandemic, I think that's probably what really helped it, but
definitely. Yeah, definitely.
And where did you guys have it? I know it's down south by like San Antonio, right?
It's in New Braunfels. Yeah. Mountain Breeze Campground, right on River Road off the Guadalupe. It's and a big, I guess, quote unquote, shout out to them guys. I mean, I'm sure a lot of festivals fail because they have to, there's so much up front, but we worked a deal out with them and they made the whole thing streamlined, because they have the facilities and the camping and all that. And we just bring the festival. So they were a big help to just I mean, we can call it a success. I don't know if it's a financial success yet, but we've had 2 music festivals and people played and people came. So,
I mean, we've been talking about trying to do like a live and amplified music festival for about 4 years now. And it just never happens. We've done some small, like they'd be more like shows, not festivals, but it's just one of those things where it's like, it's not always easy. So.
No, yeah, I would say I'm definitely, I'm fortunate. I mean, like I said, to have found the venue and a lot of friends that helped, Jason Custer, from the Jason Custer band, he's done a lot of help. And then just, I mean, all the artists that come, I mean, they're all my friends, and so I have that access and that ability to have that talk with them first and say, hey, we're trying to build something here. And, and I'm fortunate that they come under the guise knowing that they might not make anything, they're really come there to enjoy themselves. And that's what it is really at this moment. It's hard to call it a festival. I mean, I guess it is, but, and we'll get there one day, but right now, and if it never even grows out of that, we have a beautiful time with just, everybody and I've met a few new people last year and I met a few new people this year. Cause I'll invite somebody to come play and they say, hey, you need to check out this person. They'll come play. So yeah, it's a good networking moment for everybody, but also just to hang because we're all on the road all over the state of Texas and surrounding areas. And we don't always get to see each other. And so or I don't get to see all them at the same time. So I figure if I force them to come to a music festival, I get to see all my friends at the same time.
So it's not just all your friends, you bring in other acts from like through recommendations or however it ends up working. But is it all pretty much like not solo acoustic, but like Americana? Is that?
No. Yeah. So it's both full band and acoustic. You know, last year we did our acoustic acts first and then all full band. This year we had 2 stages, a little stage right next to the big stage. So you'd have a band and then you could look over at an acoustic act and then a band and acoustic act, kind of streamline things. And then as far as genre, I would say this year was predominantly songwriter, you know, was the theme, and it probably always will be. I'll always keep my songwriter acoustic friends, you know, on that stage for sure. And they'll always have a place at this festival. But yeah, you know, some of our bands, you know, I would say a few years ago were classified Texas country, or definitely like leaning more Southern rock or rock, you know, like a Ghost Days band, or like our headliner, Lincoln the Shanks, definitely got a psych indie rock kind of vibe. And next year I'm in the talks with some folks up here in Dallas of getting a Latin psych rock band up here. That's really cool. You know, like we don't want it to, I think if people think of our festival, I don't want it to be a country festival or rock festival. It's just like, hey, it's good music, you know, come out. You might not like everything. It might not be your genre, but like they're good, you know, and somebody likes them. And
for sure.
I don't want it to be identified with any one genre. No.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to approach it, honestly. You know, it just, you keep your roots where your roots are at, but, you know, just expand out where you can and make it interesting year after year, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's definitely a good way to approach it. And so then kind of moving forward as you're working through some of your projects, you're getting ready to record some music and all that stuff. What's on the horizon as far as shows? Are you you mentioned that you're taking a pretty decent break, right?
Yeah, I'm sure, you know, when I say taking a break, like I'm not reaching out currently to any venues because my brain is fried from this past like year. But
I think a lot of people
are. I have a few things, a few invites, and I have a few things that are still on the books, like small acoustic stuff. But so you'll still see me, you know, falling around a little bit. But for the most part, for the next few months, chilling out. And we're, you know, being an independent artist is like you got to wear all these different hats, and you can't wear them at the same time. So there's a certain time of the year you're a recording artist, you know, you're a studio musician. There's a certain time of year you're playing the shows, live musician. And then right now we've got a product sitting on the shelf, and now we got to learn how to be, you know, marketing and managing and promoting team all at the same time, and make sure our music doesn't just fall on deaf ears, you know, or fall to no ears at all. So that'll be the next few months, just kind of switching over to that gear, getting healthy, staying off the road, eating good food, yoga, all that dumb stuff.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for jumping on here. But before I let you go, we ask everybody a nice random question from our random question generator. And so are you ready for this one?
I don't feel like the question isn't so random. You got a list there. I don't know if this is random.
No, it's a generator. Like I literally don't know what the question is.
That's good.
So the question that popped up was, what is the most bizarre thing you witnessed while on tour?
Oh man. Can I give you 2? Because they're both really good. Well, one's morbid. It's morbid. The second one's quick, but it's morbid. It's very morbid. So I apologize to anybody. But we played this pretty dingy little dive, you know. And I don't know, I don't gamble or nothing, so I don't know how it works, but I think in Texas, you know, somehow you can have legalized gambling in the back, whatever, if they're using tokens or whatever. Or maybe it wasn't, I don't know. But like we walk in, the stage is right here, which is just like a 2-inch little board on the ground. And then in the back they're gambling. And while we're setting up, there's kind of this commotion, and this woman goes down to the ground, you know, and everyone kind of jumps up in the middle of their poker game and looking at her and stuff. And another gal yells, well, she's having a seizure. So the manager kind of runs over there, and they're kind of, you know, they seem to have the situation under control, right? So, I mean, yeah, seizures pretty standard. You know, it's I mean, they can be threatening, but most of the time pretty standard. And everyone was calm. Everyone was really calm. It was like, okay, I guess that situation is handled. You don't need more hands in the fire. You know, like just they've got it handled. And we're setting up our stage and kind of talking. Even went outside and had a beer and came back in. And next thing we know, paramedics bust through the door. You know, and they you know, she's an older gal, and they pick her up, put her on the gurney, and they come by us like doing full on compressions, you know, like chest breaking compressions, you know, and like, oh my God, she was not moving, you know. It's like, I don't think she was, you know. It was like, and then the guy comes over and he's like, yeah. I was like, what's going on, you know? And he said, well, I think she just had a heart attack, not a seizure. And I know it's just morbid. It's not funny at all. It's very morbid. But I would say the only, you know, if I was a better comedian, I would find a way to package it and make it somewhat laughable, because the only like glimmer of, she had like a you know, word starts going around the bar or whatever. Yeah. And she had a open heart surgery like a week before or 2 weeks before, and had a defibrillator put in, you know, and they told her to quit drinking and smoking. And she said to hell with that. Came to that bar, her favorite little dive bar, and literally drank and smoked till she died. And yeah, so we're standing there like, well, what do you want us to do? You know, here's the punchline. And yeah, the guy's like, well, just give it like 15 minutes and start playing. I was like, damn, that's so it changed my view on my favorite dive bar. And it's like, well, if I ever pass, actually, maybe that's how I'd want them to do it. Like give them 15 minutes and start the band up, and then their game also resumed. And I'm like, wondering what did they do with her chips? How'd that work? You know, who divided that up? But, yeah. That was about the craziest thing I've seen on the road. I mean, it was very intense and very morbid.
For sure. Well, thank you for answering the question. If anybody wants to check out any of your music that's already out, anything new you got coming up, any, you know, all that fun stuff, where's the best place for them to do that?
So if they go to www.dustbromusico.com, you can find literally everything and the links to all the social medias. But if you're on Facebook or Instagram, if you put in the search bar Dust Bro Musico, you will find that. It's DUSTBROMUSICO. That's kind of the @ for both of those. All my stuff will pop up. And then YouTube is Dustin Brown -music. And then on Spotify and Apple and all, it's Dustin Brown. But keep up with the social medias or the web page for the new projects. We'll be announcing it there, you know, to kind of maybe send over people who like my stuff over to that new thing.
Awesome. Well, once again, thank you so much for jumping on here and being a supporter of everything that we do. Thank you, everybody that's been tuning in and just watching or listening, however you're consuming this project. Our goal is to raise $10,000 in hopes of raising funds and awareness for pancreatic cancer research. If you are interested in donating or any of that stuff, the link should be in the comment thread below. Or if you're having a hard time finding it because it got buried in the comments or something, feel free to reach out to me personally or leave a comment and just ask where it's at and I can get it to you. Once again, Dustin, thank you so much for jumping on here. Really appreciate it. And we will be back in a few minutes with the cheeseburgers.
It's cool, man. We'll see y'all later, man. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Thank you. Have a good one, man.
Later.